Tonight, the downtown Louisville Gentlemen's Club has suddenly been shut down because Metro officials allege that the business owner's been illegally disguising this club as a restaurant.
The Gentlemen's Club on East Market Street just opened in April, but as Ward Jollis explains in this troubleshooter report, Metro officials want it gone.
If you're just passing by 319 East Market Street, you'd probably have no idea that both Metro and state officials have launched full-scale investigations into what goes on behind this store. At first glance, you might think this business is a strip club. It's doing business as the Gentlemen's Club. And if you look at how the business has advertised itself on social media, you might think so too. Photos of half-naked women inviting you to stop by for bottle service or to take part in special events like Fetish Fridays. There's even what looks like a stripper pole and stage in the middle of the business. But if you look at how this business appears on paper, it's actually licensed to be a restaurant. In fact, the owner of the Gentlemen's Club, a local paralegal named Elizabeth Johnson, applied for the restaurant license under the LLC name Market Street Bar and Grill. And when you read through the more than 400-page Metro case file on the business, it becomes clear officials believe this was done to deceive.
And I believe any reasonable person would agree with me that really it's a strip club posing as a restaurant.
The reason Silveria says this is illegal is simple. The Gentlemen's Club was granted an NQ2 alcohol license by Metro ABC. That's a retail drink license only approved for restaurants, riverboats, or hotels that make more than half of their money through the sale of food and have a fully functional kitchen.
Our belief is that they applied with full intentions of being a strip club, but the only way they could get the license is the state ordered for an NQ2 license to be issued. So therefore, I believe it was more than likely deceptive.
Based on the tips that detectives at ABC received, they knew before going into this bar and grill that they likely wouldn't find much of a grill at all. But what they did find inside made this case even stranger.
This is a photo taken by an ABC detective of the kitchen in the Gentlemen's Club back in June and referenced in the state's case file. A couple tabletop ovens, a microwave, and a refrigerator. The only food in the kitchen at the time were about a dozen 5-inch frozen pizzas. Case documents say when detectives warned the manager at the time they had to make 50% of their money on food to maintain their license, the manager responded, quote, "They do sell a lot of pizzas." Detectives then asked the business to turn over evidence it met the 50% food sales threshold. But they were given this, a self-generated document claiming the business did sell the required amount of food. But the state says these records appeared to be fictitious, or in other words, faked.
It's not difficult to put one and one together.
A number of neighbors at a housing complex next door tell us they've had it with the Gentlemen's Club, each with their own stories to tell.
Because it's honestly not something that I think anyone wants to see in this area.
Instances of like very aggressive catcalling.
I wouldn't want my daughter to be out there in the mix of their clientele. It's almost scary at times what we've seen on the camera.
Videos like this captured outside of the club via surveillance. A man crawling on the ground, then vomiting on the sidewalk.
You know, we know what it is.
Interestingly enough, the Metro case file also shows that neighbors wrote numerous letters to the ABC months before the business opened, asking officials to deny the business's liquor license for fears that it would become a strip club. They even pointed to alleged stripper poles in the building and the suggestive neon signs out front. One neighbor called the business, quote, a wolf in sheep's clothing. At the time, club owner Elizabeth Johnson wrote this response, quote, all letters in protest are inaccurate and state falsehoods. There are not stripper poles. There is a stage, which I plan to use for live bands, but no stripper pole. The case file shows Metro ABC ended up granting Johnson the liquor license anyway, but only if she signed an affidavit swearing that Market Street Bar and Grill would not have any adult entertainment and that it would act as a restaurant with a built-out kitchen. But Silveria claims, based on their investigation, none of that happened.
They couldn't provide the food sales. They couldn't show Metro government or the state ABC at any point in time that they didn't have menus, they didn't have utensils, and that's why we revoked the license today.
Now that the Metro has revoked the liquor license at the Gentlemen's Club, the owner is allowed by law to appeal, although it's not clear at this point whether or not they intend to do that. Reporting in Louisville, I'm Ward Jollis, Wave News.